Alright, good evening, good night, everyone. Once again, I would like to thank you guys for watching Cooking with Chef Carlo. Today we are going to do something else today. We're gonna cook dinner for you, which is going to be salmon with spinach and potato salad. So first, I would like to start with peeling the potatoes, and when I have a peeler here, which is gonna help me peel the potatoes a little bit faster. And once I'm done, and I will cut the potatoes and show you guys how I'm gonna cut the potatoes. I don't want to cut it too big. I would like to cut it small pieces, so little square pieces, so it can help it cook a little bit faster. So I'm gonna peel the potatoes. I'm gonna go like real slow for you guys so you can see how to peel the potatoes. When you peel the potatoes, you want to make sure that you get all the skin off the potatoes, and you turn it around so you can get the other side of the potatoes. Make sure you don't cut yourself while you're doing this. You don't put your fingers on the way when you're cutting the potatoes. Take all the skin off and all the bad pieces in there. If you find some, take it off. And I'm done with this potato. And I'll put the skin in the trash. Once you're done, you want to cut the potatoes. Make sure you keep your fingers away from the knife so you don't cut your finger. And I'm gonna cut it one more time. So you cut it in 3 pieces, and then I'm gonna cut a little square, little small bites. Make sure you always keep your finger away from the knife so you don't cut yourself. You want to cut one a little bit faster. So cut it, put it aside. Done. So I'm done cutting the potatoes. I have a little small bowl here with some water. So I'm gonna put the potatoes in here. Done cutting. So I'm done cutting my potatoes, and I'm gonna put the peeler away. And I'm gonna keep the knife because I'm gonna use it. I have my knife. I'm gonna wipe my cutting board. Always keep your cutting board clean so you don't have any cross contamination here. So I have 2 pieces of salmon here. What I'm going to do, I have some spice jerk. I'm gonna cook that with the salmon. I'm gonna make it so it will be spicy. Okay, the way you do that, so I'm gonna get a spoon here. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm not gonna do it too spicy. Okay. want to do it to spicy. I'm gonna get half of a spoon here, put it on top. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my hands and spread it out. So you wanna get all that seasoning all over the salmon. So when you take a bite, you can taste the seasoning in there. Okay. Do the same thing for this piece right here. Spread it out. And over here, I have my salt and pepper seasoning. I'm gonna put a little pinch on top. Okay. And then I'm done with the seasoning. While I'm leaving this salmon here to sit for a few seconds, I'm gonna change my gloves and get the potatoes going. I have the potatoes here. I'll put another set of gloves. Always put gloves on while you're cooking. And you know, if you're gonna serve people at your house, you know, you wanna make sure everything is clean. So I'm gonna drain the water here. Drain the water. Once I'm done, so I'm gonna start cooking my potatoes. I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt. You don't want to put too much salt because not a lot of people eat salt nowadays. So we're gonna put just a little bit of salt. Turn the stove on, and I'm gonna let it cook for like 4 to 5 minutes. I'm not gonna cook it for too long. I'm gonna cook it for like 4 to 5 minutes, and I'm done with this. So while the potatoes cooking, I'm gonna turn on my flat top here so I can get it going and get hot. So while my flat top is getting hot and my potatoes is cooking, and I'm gonna start cutting my celery and my onions that I wanted to put on my potato salad. So the celery is already been washed and stuff. So what you're gonna do, you wanna cut it real small, okay, like a dice size. You don't want it too big, and do a small dice on that. Like I said, always keep your fingers away from the knife so you don't cut your finger. That's number one safeties. Number one. I'm done here. This bowl, that's the bowl that I'm going to use to mix my potato salad. And the onions. So what I'm going to do with the onions, I wanted to get some diced onions in there. Okay. So I started cutting on the side. Okay, going from one side to the other. So and then I'm gonna go on the inside of the onions. Okay, 1, 2, 3 times so I can get the dice that I'm looking for. Okay. I don't want to put too much onions on my potato salad. You know, onions already. You see how the dice comes out real small, and then you want to mix it up with your celery I have here, and then I'm gonna add some eggs into my potato salad. So I have this here. I don't want to cut the. If I wanted to, I can cut the eggs real small pieces, but I have these tools here. I'm gonna squeeze the eggs, okay, in there. You see how it's coming real small pieces, pretty much the same size with the celery and the onions. Squeeze it again, okay. Put it right here, and then I'm done with this. And my potatoes still cooking. Okay, like I said, about 5 minutes in here, and I'm gonna check my flat top here to see if my flat top is ready for the salmon. Okay, so with the salmon gonna produce its own fat, so I don't really have to put anything with the on the flat top for that. So what I will do, I'm gonna put salmon here. Read up how it's seasoned on the flat top. So the salmon, you don't want to cook the salmon too much, because if it cooks well done, it's gonna end up being dry, and you know when you're eating food that's already dry, it's the flavor is already gone from the food. So I will do like a medium well on that. I'm gonna let it cook, and then the best way for you to if it is your first time cooking salmon, the best way for you to check your salmon to see if it's cooking, you're gonna see on the side of it, it's gonna start turning white, and then that's when you know the salmon is cooking, and that's when I'm gonna go and turn it over so I can cook the other side. Okay, so my salmon is cooking, my potatoes is cooking, so it's almost there. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna cook it too much. I don't want the potatoes to cook too much. I'm not making, like a mashed potatoes and stuff. So I'm just gonna cook it so it can be a little bit crunchy when you try to eat it with the salmon. So my salmon is cooking. Next, while this potato is cooking, I have mayo here. Okay, you can try to put the mayonnaise in there. Since I'm cooking like two potatoes, I will try to do like a cup of mayo on there, and let me get my measurement cup. I think I have it here. I'm gonna try to do a cup of mayo on there. And the salmon is cooking. If you can, I don't know if you can see it. It started to turn a little bit white on the side of it, and that's telling me my salmon is cooking. So we have about a cup of mayo here. What you will do, you will put it in the mixing bowl with all the ingredients that you already have in there, and let's see here, and I'm gonna do the same thing once I'm done. Over here, let me wipe my hand. So same seasoning I use on the salmon, I'm gonna use it on my potato salad. Put a little bit here, and as I'm mixing it, that's when I'm gonna start tasting the potato salad to see how's the seasoning in there. Like I said, you don't want to put too much, and then the best way to do it is you can always add on instead of just put a bunch of seasoning in there and then you end up not you can't even use it after you do that. So if you can see on the side of the salmon, okay, it started to turn white. All right. So when I put the salmon down, I put it down with the skin on. Okay. So I put it down with the skin on. I'm gonna flip it over. Okay. Flip it over. All right. And I'm gonna go right under the skin to take the skin off. Okay. Take the skin off. Once I take the skin off, and then you also have the bloodline. You wanna take the bloodline off, because if you eat it with the bloodline, it's not gonna taste good at all. So, all right. So I flip it over. I'm gonna let it cook on that side for a minute. All right. And then I still have my potatoes over here cooking. Potatoes almost done. I'm gonna check it. Okay. Let's see where we at. All right. I'm gonna leave it there for another minute. It's almost done. Leave it there for a minute. And do you guys smell the drink? Yeah. So, and what you can do to speed up the process when you're cooking, especially on the flat top, I'm gonna show you guys a little trick you can do. I don't have another mixing bowl, so I'm gonna put a little bit of water around it. So all that steam, you see, the steam is having me cooking the salmon as well. Okay. Once I flip it on the other side, and I'm gonna try to cover it up to help me with the process. Okay. And then when you flip it over, like I said, you don't want to do too much. You add a little pinch of salt on the back of it, okay? And this jerk seasoning is really strong. All right. So I'm done here, and my potatoes it's ready to go. Okay. Like I said, you don't want to cook it too much. You want it to be a little bit crunchy when you eating it. All right. So I'm gonna take my towels here. Be careful when you're taking anything from the stove. It's hot. Make sure you have a good grip on it. It's not too so you won't burn yourself. Okay, I'm gonna go over the sink. All right. I'm gonna drain the water. Okay. Drain the water. Make sure all the water is gone. I'm gonna leave it here for a second. And as you can see, same thing. You see how the salmon turn on the side of it? Alright. So I'm gonna flip it over. Okay. Flip it over. And as you can see, my salmon is looking so yummy. Okay, so I have a lime here. Lemon. I have a lemon. I'm gonna cut a slice of lemon. Okay, slice of lemon. I'm gonna put it on top of that salmon. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing I just did with the water. I'm gonna give it a little bit of water on the side. Okay. So it's just helping the cooking process with the steam. You know, when the steam gets on the meat, it's gonna cook it a little bit faster for you. Okay. And then once I'm done, so I got my my potatoes done, I'm gonna transfer it over to my potato, to my mixing bowl here with all the ingredients, and you start mixing it up. Okay, start mixing it up. That's it. You wanna taste. Every time you cook, you always wanna taste your food. Okay, so you know you get in the taste that you are looking for, and then you can always add seasoning. Don't put too much. Just start with just a little bit, and then as you taste in your food, you can just try to see where you at as far as the taste that you're looking for. Okay. Okay. So for me, the seasoning is just fine. So I'm just gonna put a small pinch of seasoning in here. So this is done. Okay. Salmon is still cooking, so I'm gonna grab a few pieces of garlic here. Few pieces of garlic. You can use the garlic. You can use a chop. You can use a shaved garlic. So I'm gonna try to do a shaved garlic. So I cut the end piece. Okay. And like I said, whenever you're using the knife, always be careful. Don't expose your fingers to the knife. Okay. So the salmon is cooked, right? I'm gonna remove my salmon from the flat top. I don't need a lot of garlic. Okay. So this little bit of garlic I have here, I'm gonna use that. I don't want no more than this. Okay, so take my salmon, put it over here. You see on the side of it? See how white it turned? So that means your salmon is already cooked. Okay, so I'm cleaning up my flat top. I just cooked the salmon, so I'm gonna wet my towel a little bit, and I'm gonna clean up this flat top here. Okay, and I need just a little bit of oil in here, please. All right. So what I'm about to do now, I'm gonna cook my spinach, and then when you're cooking the spinach, make sure you don't saute the spinach too much. Okay, you don't saute the spinach too much. I'm gonna put just a little bit of oil here. Okay. Put a little bit of oil, and then I'm gonna spread it out on my flat top. I'm gonna cook my garlic first. Make sure you cook the garlic. If not, if you don't cook the garlic, you're gonna have a strong taste of garlic in your mouth after you're done eating the spinach. Okay, just a little bit of tiny bit of oil here again. Okay, I'm gonna saute this bad boy here. I'll put just a little bit of seasoning. Alright, cooking, when you cook, remember seasoning is the key. Always put some seasoning on your food. Start low, and then you can always add more seasoning. Okay. Right now, what I'm doing is I can smell the garlic. So if you can smell the garlic, that's mean the garlic is cooking. Okay. So I am the garlic is done. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my spinach, okay, on top. Like I say, you don't want to saute the spinach too much. Alright, you don't want to saute the spinach too much. Just a little bit, saute. Okay, same thing. You want to put a little pinch of your seasoning, your special seasoning you have at your house. You want to do that. Okay. And then I am almost done with this spinach. I wish you guys can smell the garlic and the spinach together. Smells so good. So I'm gonna put it aside for now. Before I plate my food, I'm gonna put it aside. Okay. Like I said, I don't need a big portion of it, a small portion. So I'm done with this flat top here. I'm done with the spinach. So I'm gonna put the spinach away, and it's time for me to plate the salmon. Okay, and like I said, every time you're done with your cutting board, you want to clean it. I just cut the garlic, so I want to clean it with some water. Okay, for the next items don't smell, don't taste like garlic. Okay, and I have the tomatoes here. So the tomatoes, what I'll do with the tomatoes, like I said, you don't see me going over the sink to clean. Everything's already been washed, so I'm gonna cut both end of the tomatoes, okay, and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper, clean this, and I'm gonna cut it. All right. I'm gonna cut it in 4. Okay. And this is something a little simple you can do at home. You don't have to go anywhere to make yourself feel like you just eat something fancy, right? So I'm gonna do this. I hope it stays. Okay. Just hope it stays. Okay. And right here, I have a balsamic glaze. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of balsamic on top. Okay. If you have olive oil at your house, you can put olive oil on top. I'm just gonna put a little pinch of salt. This is always good to put a little bit of salt in here. So now it's time for me to plate my salmon. Okay. First plate here. I'm gonna put a small portion of the potato salad right in the center of that. Okay, that's good right there. And I'm gonna take a little bit of my spinach. Put it right there. Okay. The spinach right there. And I will do my salmon here. Okay. So I'll clean that. And I'm gonna put it this plate right over here. Okay. Next plate, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna use a little bit of your potato salad right in the center of it. Okay. Right in the center. Okay. And then I will put my spinach. If you want, you can always put more spinach in there. But, you know, I'll just put a small pieces, small portion meaning. Okay. And then, so I'm done with my cutting board. I'm gonna start putting them away. Okay. Putting them away. And I'm gonna clean up just a little bit so I can put my next plate. Okay. Right here. One look like it's a little bit bigger than the other, but it's fine. Alright. So here you go. This is your salmon with a little bit of potato salad and spinach. I have a tomatoes here with some balsamic blades, and right, let me put it a little bit closer to me so you guys can see it. Okay, right here. And it was like less than 30 minutes, right? About 30 minutes or a little bit over 30 minutes. And then you have a beautiful salmon, and it looks yummy. I'm pretty sure it tastes yummy. And that was a pleasure for me to cook this for you. I hope you can try it at home and let me know how it tastes. And I'm gonna let my people here taste it, and then they will let me know if it was good or not, but I'm pretty sure it looks good. And then right here, I forgot, I have a little bit of chopped parsley here for decoration. Okay, not too much. And you can put it on top of the tomatoes as well. Okay. Voila. Voila. Okay. See you guys later. Thank you. Thanks for your time. And then don't forget, send it to a friend and subscribe, share, like, do all of those things for me. Thank you.